Good morning. I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage. And I want to thank you for listening today. Today I want to talk about a program called Are You Fighting Decision Fatigue? And I think a lot of us are today. There are a lot of negatives around us today, unfortunately, with rising inflation, rising costs, interest rates that seem to be on a definite upward trend. And maybe some of the levels of control from government and other sources, maybe from your bank, for example. But I want to share with you a summary of an article I read by an author named Julia Ubenga. Her article was How to Overcome These Stresses. And she basically proposed 7 steps. So let me quickly go through those with you and see if hopefully this will help you as you face decision fatigue that results from these outward stresses that are entering all of our lives, yours and mine both, but see if we can overcome those. Step number 1 that Julia recommended was, and I know you may think this is silly, but it's entitled, Simplify Your Wardrobe. If you think about some of the most successful people in the world, Steve Jobs, for example, who founded Apple and resurrected Apple in the latter part of his career, he was notorious for wearing black outfits, black jeans, black shirts. He didn't waste a lot of time getting his wardrobe pulled together. And I would suggest for you and me, that could be the same thing. I've tried it. It really does work pretty well. I don't wear a black outfit every day. But one of the things you can do if you desire or require to have different outfits every day, get them out the night before. I find that that's a tremendous time saver in the morning when I'm starting to focus on new things for the positive and exciting day ahead of me. Step number 2, along that same line, practice a morning routine. This can definitely decrease your fatigue, decision fatigue, whether you're doing some reading, prayer, Bible study, exercise, you walk, run. I'm just adamant about having these things in my morning routine. And some of my toughest days, not just because I'm getting on an airplane, but because I miss my morning routine or it gets altered, it gets delayed till later in the day, is when I'm flying, when I'm traveling. And I would suggest for you that just be more adamant about your morning routine and give yourself an opportunity to clear your mind early in the morning, get off to a positive start. Step number 3 that Julia recommended was to reduce clutter. I'm guilty of this one. Every once in a while, I just literally have to clear my desk because I find several things. Number 1, it gives me a clearer pattern of thinking. I have a lot less distractions laying in front of me on my desk. And you know what? I just feel better and I tend to become more productive. And I think that's a real positive. Step number 4 that she offers is the rule of 3. High achievers like you, like myself, like so many of my friends and colleagues, high achievers have long to-do lists. There are a lot of things we want to do in life. We don't sit around, doing nothing. We have an exciting list of things to do, things we want to accomplish. But I think we need to stop, and what she recommends is stop and ask ourselves, if I only accomplish 3 things today, what are the top 3 things that I must get done? My business coach, Dan Sullivan, I love this quote from him. He says that learning to say yes is what got you out of Egypt, but learning to say no will get you to the promised land. End of quote. Just stop and think about that. Learning to say yes got us a lot more activities, got us out of Egypt as he describes it, but learning to say no to some things will get us to the promised land, a higher level of success, if you will. Step number 5, slow down your schedule. Guilty as charged. I am as guilty as anyone. This slow down your schedule. This is a big one for me, and I'll tell you why. Because it used to aggravate me to no end when people wanted to change my schedule. And I run a pretty tight schedule, especially when I'm in weeks where I'm seeing clients. I can do 15 to 17 meetings in 5 days, and that's a pretty rigorous routine. Doesn't allow for a lot of changing up of the schedule. But one of the things that I've learned over the last few years is that instead of being aggravated when things change, because sometimes it's out of anyone's control, the client, myself, whatever. But I now see them as an opportunity to catch up on tasks I might be behind on, or also an opportunity to get ahead on some new tasks. So I find that slowing down your schedule is a big one, a big step toward fighting decision fatigue, being less fatigued in general. Step number 6 that she recommends is simplify your meal routine. And she tells me in the article, tells us in the article that the average American spends 40 minutes per day, or about 10 days per year, planning their meals. Or not so much planning the meals, but deciding on the spur of the moment what they're going to do. And I think that's why it takes longer. So simplify your meal routines, simplify them, plan them ahead of time. You'll rock through the whole week in a very positive manner. And finally, number 7, ask yourself what decision would be best for your brain right now. We need to optimize our brain health and learn to decrease that decision fatigue that we're fighting. And one of the questions I like to ask myself is this the best approach for me right now? When I'm thinking about taking a step forward, to the left, to the right, whatever, I ask myself, is this the best approach for me right now? Dr. Wayne Dyer, the late Dr. Wayne Dyer, said, and I quote, "Our lives are a sum total of the choices that we have made." End of quote. I hope this has been helpful to you. I want to thank you for listening today. I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage. Thank you.